You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something that's just everywhere now, cybersecurity. It impacts our daily lives, sure, but also every single business operation.
Absolutely. It's not just tech talk anymore.
Exactly. It's gone way beyond, movie plots. It's fundamental. And to help us make sense of it all, we're looking at ISACA. They're this global organization focused on certification, compliance, knowledge, basically setting the standards for cybersecurity pros.
That's right. And our mission today really is to unpack ISACA's story. Where did they come from? Why are they so critical now? We'll get into the challenges they tackle, and importantly, how they help professionals and maybe organizations like yours to actually navigate, thrive really in this complex space.
Thrive, not just survive. I like that.
Yeah, because it's not just about tech fixes anymore. It's strategic. It's about the whole picture.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. ISACA. It's international, founded way back 1969.
That's it, 1969.
And the Madrid chapter, 1987, a nonprofit Spanish association. But what gets me is their initial focus, information security. How does an organization from that era stay so relevant, lead the charge even, in what we now call cybersecurity? That term didn't really exist like it does now.
That's a great question. And it really highlights their foresight. Their roots are absolutely in auditing information systems, making sure the data, the controls were sound.
Okay, the auditing part.
You got it. But here's the key thing. They realized pretty early on that security wasn't just about the tech controls, the what, it was about the how and the why, the governance, the strategy behind it all.
So they saw the bigger picture sooner than most.
Exactly. That insight let them shift, and it was a significant shift from purely auditing towards, everything else. Risk management, compliance, global security management, and the really big one, governance.
Governance. That keeps coming up.
Because it's central. Their vision now is all about quality and excellence in security, governance, risk, compliance, InfoSec, auditing, control, the whole package. It wasn't just a tweak. It was a total pivot from checking boxes to proactively shaping strategy.
So the idea is you can have the best locks on the doors, but if you don't know who has the keys or why the doors are important, it doesn't really work.
Precisely. Security leaders need to speak both tech and business fluently.
Right.
And that connects directly to your organization because cybersecurity is strategic now, no question. You needed to hit business goals, protect your assets, stay resilient. It's moved way beyond just firewalls.
It's about weaving security into the business strategy itself.
Yes. Thinking about processes, people, and technology. All three together. Not just the tech defenses in isolation. If it's not baked into how you operate, you're always reacting, always behind.
Okay, that perfectly sets up this idea of governance of security. Let's unpack that. What are the real world impacts when companies don't have that structure? What happens if there aren't clear rules or maybe not enough certified people leading the way?
Oh, the stakes are incredibly high. And the problems aren't always the massive headline-grabbing breaches, though those happen too. Sometimes it starts small.
Like what?
Like an employee storing personal photos on a work device or installing some game they shouldn't. Seems minor, right?
Yeah, maybe annoying, but...
But that harmless download could be Trojanized, like the Trojan horse. It looks fine, but it's carrying something malicious inside. Creates a backdoor, and suddenly you're facing ransomware because of a seemingly small lapse.
Oh, wow, okay.
And without qualified, certified people driving the security program, management becomes, the term used is non-homogeneous. It's inconsistent. Patchy, ineffective, you get gaps.
So it's not just the systems, it's how people interact with them and who's guiding that behavior.
Absolutely, and that's where ISO adds so much value. They push out this internationally recognized knowledge, best practices from global experts, And they champion a professional code of ethics.
Ethics, too. Interesting.
Very important. It leads to standardized ethical work processes. It stops organizations from just, stumbling blindly, trying things without a solid expert-backed plan. It prevents those little failures from snowballing into disasters.
Protects everything from IP to customer trust, I suppose.
Definitely. And that brings us back to that critical triad: people, technology, and processes. You got to remember, vulnerabilities aren't just tech bugs. They live in weak procedures and, yes, absolutely, in human behavior.
That really hammers at home security is it's holistic. It's not just an IT department thing.
Couldn't agree more.
But let's zoom out a bit. Beyond the internal stuff, what does ISACA see as the biggest external challenges? What are businesses really grappling with out there right now?
Okay, externally, there are three huge ones we're seeing consistently. First, just the increasing sophistication of the threats themselves.
More attacks, basically.
More, yes, but also way more complex. Think about artificial intelligence, AI. It's being used by attackers now to make their methods incredibly sophisticated.
How so?
Imagine AI crafting phishing emails that are spookily convincing, or malware that learns and adapts its attack in real time. Organizations need much more advanced prevention, detection, response, especially as their own surface of exposure grows.
Surface of exposure, meaning all the ways attackers could potentially get in.
Exactly. Every laptop, every server, every cloud account, every connected device, it all adds up.
Okay, so smarter, faster attacks.
Yeah.
What's number two?
Number two is the cons. You could call it a regulatory tidal wave.
Compliance.
Yeah. A flood of new rules, things like DORA for finance, NIS2 for essential services. These demand major changes, especially for small and medium businesses, SMEs, who maybe weren't as mature in their security to begin with.
Sounds like a huge headache for them.
It can be. It requires significant effort, resources. But here's the interesting flip side. It's also an opportunity.
How's that?
These regulations give security teams, CISOs, crucial leverage. They can go to senior management and say, look, we have to do this. We need the budget, the people. It forces investments that might have been pushed off before.
Right. It creates a non-negotiable business case. That's smart. Okay, what's the third big challenge?
Third is supply chain risk. This one's huge.
Like the SolarWinds attack.
Exactly like SolarWinds. Attackers aren't always hitting you directly. They're going after your software vendors, your service providers. The supply chain is now a primary way in, even for companies with really strong defenses.
So you could do everything right internally, but a vendor gets compromised.
And they use that vendor's legitimate access to get into your systems. It means your security is only as strong as your weakest link, and that link might be a third party. Vendor risk management is absolutely critical now.
Makes sense. And speaking of resources and investment, let's talk budgets. You mentioned regulations forcing spending, but is it enough? Is security still seen as just a cost?
That's the constant battle, isn't it? The budget dilemma. Regulations have definitely boosted spending, no doubt. But yes, there's still often that perception. Security is a cost center, not a value driver.
Because it doesn't directly make money.
Right. It prevents loss, enables resilience, but it's harder to put a direct ROI number on it sometimes. And that's where the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, plays such a vital role.
They have to be translators almost.
In a way, yes. They need to demonstrate the tangible value of that security funding, show how it prevents disasters, sure, but also how it enables the business to operate confidently, to innovate safely. They have to build that security culture and convince leadership this isn't just an expense, it's essential, even if the payoff isn't on the next quarterly report.
And are budgets going up generally, or?
It varies. Large organizations who may be invested heavily already might see budgets stabilizing a bit, but SMEs, their budgets are often growing significantly. They have more ground to cover to meet these new regulations and catch up on maturity.
Okay, so we have these huge challenges: sophisticated AI attacks, regulations, supply chain risks, budget pressures. Given all that, how does ISACA actually help? What tools do they provide for someone listening, maybe wanting to build skills, or for an organization needing to defend itself better?
ISACA Madrid tackles this through several key activities. A huge part is, naturally, training and certifications. We offer courses specifically geared towards passing their certifications, which are, frankly, globally recognized gold standards.
Okay, tell us about the main ones.
So the core certs, you could call them, First, CISA, that's for Information Security Auditors. It's been around over 50 years, really focused on assurance, making sure things are compliant and sound from an audit perspective.
Original focus, yeah.
Then there's CISM. This is for Information Security Governance and Management. About 78,000 people hold this globally. What's key about CISM is it targets leadership roles, like the CISO. It's about managing, designing, overseeing security strategy, and connecting it to the business. Less about the tech details, more about the strategic management.
Bridging that gap we talked about.
Exactly. Then CRISC focused squarely on risk management. Identifying, assessing, responding to IT risk, aligning it with the bigger enterprise risk picture.
Makes sense.
And finally, CGEIT, which is for IT governance. Again, leadership focused. Ensuring IT aligns with business goals, delivers value, manages risk effectively.
Those sound like pillars that have been around a while. But threats evolve so fast. AI, quantum computing is on the horizon. How do the certifications keep up?
Great point. They have to evolve constantly. ISACA is actively developing newer ones like AISM, Advanced AI Security Management, that's an evolution of CSM, tackling the specific governance and security challenges of AI.
Okay, very current.
And COCOA, that's for cyber analysts, the folks on the front lines. It evolved from an older cert called CSXP, and it digs into the technical tools, the hands-on skills for threat detection, incident response. Plus, we do customized training, too, because one size definitely doesn't fit all.
Right, bespoke solutions. So beyond certs, what else? How do you spread the knowledge?
A lot of dissemination, training, and awareness work. We run 3 big conferences each year.
Okay. There's the Audit in GRC Congress in March, Governance, Risk, Compliance. Then the ISACA Madrid event in June, usually tailored to what our local members are asking for. And the Cybertotos Congress in October, that one's more technical, timed with European Cybersecurity Month.
Lots of events.
We also do Drivi's ISACA Thursdays. These are online and sometimes in-person seminars on really cutting-edge stuff. AI, again, quantum complaining, digital identity. The goal is always theory and practice, keep people updated. And finally, we have work commissions, groups of members doing research that benefits the whole community.
That sounds incredibly thorough. For someone looking at this professionally, what's the real long-term value of getting an ISACA certification? Why these ones?
It's a few key things that make them stand out. First, accreditation. They don't just teach you stuff, they formally prove you know it. And recruiters value that immensely. You'll often see CISA or CISM listed as required or highly desirable for good roles.
Gives you an edge, a significant one. Second, the continuous professional education, the CPEs. You need 120 points every 3 years, minimum 20 a year, to keep your cert active.
So you can't just pass the exam and coast.
Absolutely not. It forces you to stay current in a field that changes daily. If you don't report your CPEs, you can actually lose your certification. It ensures the credential means something now, not just when you pass the test.
That commitment seems vital. What about people just starting out, maybe without years of experience?
That's another strength. ISACA offers introductory certificates, not full certifications, but focused certificates in areas like cyber audit foundations, IT risk, cloud, AI basics. They give you that foundational knowledge, a starting point. You can learn, gain some experience, and then go for the full certification. It's a clear pathway.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It sounds like ISA provides a really strong toolkit. But we still hear constantly about this massive cybersecurity talent gap. Even with all these certs and training, is it still hard to find and keep good people? What's the reality there?
You're hitting on a major persistent issue. Yes, it's still a challenge. Progress is being made, but maybe slower than it should be, you could say, given the demand.
Why is demand so high? Is it just the threats?
Threats are part of it, but it's also because cybersecurity is now a board-level topic, as we discussed. That visibility drives demand. And it's not just for any tech person. Companies need professionals with that global and transversal vision, people who see beyond the servers and understand the whole business.
The business context? Yeah.
Right. Technical skills are crucial, but not enough. You need people who can connect the dots. And honestly, a common problem we see is organizations lacking a clear map between their core business processes and the specific IT systems supporting them.
Meaning they don't know exactly what tech runs what critical function?
Often not in enough detail. So if a system goes down, it's hard to quickly assess the real business impact. Regulations like DORA are actually pushing companies to do this mapping, to understand those dependencies better.
So regulations are forcing better internal understanding too.
In a way, yes. It all comes back to aligning security with the business objectives. Security can't be off doing its own thing, raging its own war. It needs to be a collective effort, a culture embedded everywhere, from the very top all the way down. Every single person plays a part.
A powerful reminder. So we've covered a lot of ground, from ISACA's origins and auditing, its evolution into a governance powerhouse, the huge challenges like sophisticated threats, regulations, supply chain risks, and how ISACA provides the certifications, the training, the community to face them.
It's been quite the journey, hasn't it? From checking systems to shaping strategy.
Absolutely. And it underscores how critical this field is and how multifaceted the solutions need to be.
And that brings us to a final thought, really. We've talked a lot about the technology, the processes, the governance, but as we've seen, the people part is just as vital, if not more so. So here's something for you to consider. In this world where digital resilience isn't optional anymore, how might really doubling down, investing actively in the people and process aspects of security, going beyond just the tech spend, how might that unlock not just better protection, but maybe new strategic advantages for your business?
Rethinking security not just as defense, but as a potential competitive edge through trust and resilience. Interesting. Food for thought indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you. It was a great discussion.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.